So this video is going to be looking at 3 sources that specifically talk about religion under Nero. There's 2 coins and a section of Tacitus. Alright, sorry, I'm just rereading the title of that coin. So the first one is a coin. It's showing Nero on one side. This coin was produced while Claudius was still emperor. Obviously the dates aren't exact, but Claudius dies in 54 BC. So this is a coin kind of showing Nero's promotion more than anything else, but also has some religious aspects to it. So as part of his promotion here, you can see where it says Princeps Juvent. So that's when he's the prince of the youth or leader of the younger generation. Augustus had used that title to promote his grandsons, you may remember, the Princeps Juventus. So that's what that is talking about there. So we've got this promotion of him. The important thing in terms of for our religion is this. So he has the 4 symbols of the 4 main priesthoods. So we have the ladle, the alga's wand, and a dish for sacrifices. So he's been added as a member of every college of the priests, which again is something that Augustus had done while he was emperor. It does show obviously that the emperors in general have control of all of the aspects of religion. And obviously once Claudius dies in 54 BC, Nero is come in and he has control of the 4 priesthoods. So he has control of everything. So that's the first coin. The second coin is showing Nero as Apollo, or specifically Apollo the lyre player. So obviously we know that, we talked in previous videos, that Nero obviously, sorry, got itchy face, was an artist. So he obviously was keen on singing and horse riding and all the rest of it and acting. So it's not a surprise that he's picked to show himself as Apollo the lyre player. Is this showing that he is equal to the gods? No, it's not, but it is basically showing that Nero was being cultured. But obviously he is linking himself to the gods in terms of his cultural understanding. So that's what we can pick out from that particular coin. So it's not going to be a very long video, as you can tell already. And then we have this short section of Tacitus. Sorry, faffing about my computer. So the key thing here is the reaction after the Great Fire of Rome. So obviously when we did the Great Fire of Rome, we talked about the fact that the Christians were then blamed for it. And this is essentially what this particular source is talking about. So although that they had done sort of typical Roman religious behaviour in this first part of the source, so they'd looked at the sublime books, they had public prayers, they'd done everything kind of correctly, which is why I've not really kind of highlighted it. What Nero starts to do is he sort of picks the Christians, I don't know why. In the sorry, yeah, he picked. I was really confused by my own highlighting. I was like, what? So he picked on the Christians, obviously because there were rumours circulating that Nero had started the fire himself, so he has to put blame on somebody else. And also, when we did the Fire of London, we know that he didn't. Fire of Rome. Sorry, he didn't start the fire because he wasn't even in Rome when it happened. But obviously, there is this rumour starting. So this kind of gives us a wider idea of his religious policy. So he starts to arrest them, and then they're convicted on the count of arson as well as hatred of the human race. This is like, it will give you an idea of how Romans viewed Christians in general terms from Tacitus, because he does not like them. So he's got all sorts of Christians of Judaism as well. So you've got not merely in Judea, the home of the disease. This is kind of where Christianity had obviously been born, like Jesus, etc., etc. So, where these things horrible and shameful in the world collect and find a folk. Kind of shows it's real anti-Christian views in this particular source, just as like a wider point. But anyway, so they're arrested, they're convicted, and then they are killed in very different ways. So they're covered with wild animal and beasts skins and torn to death by dogs, or they are crucified. Some of them serve as lamps at light, so they're made into torches, which is also very unpleasant for the Christians. So what does this tell us about sort of his religious policy? He's obviously persecuting a religion that is not Roman. They were seen as being quite dangerous because they wouldn't swear an allegiance to the emperor. The emperor was supposed to be sort of godlike by this period, and the Christians not swearing an oath to them meant they were sort of being traitors, basically, because they weren't following Roman religion. So these guys are being targeted more properly. Lost my mouse. Oh, there it is. So this is a bit of a change. So if we think about, for example, under Claudius, different religions were tolerated as long as they weren't causing any particular problems. Nero, it's quite different. They're now being persecuted. And you could say that he's obviously trying to reinforce Roman religion. But is it more just he's trying to shift the blame away from himself? Yeah, most likely.